What is going on, guys? It is Tom or Tops on Wrestling, and welcome back to another video on the channel today. Today, we're going to be doing another TNA / Impact video, because of course I am. I don't need to intro it every time, because I think you already know I'm going to be doing a TNA video based on the title, and based on the fact it's kind of what my channel is now. But today, you can see on screen, I'm doing a tier list, and a tier list for TNA is something I always wanted to do. The problem is that most of the TNA roster has moved on, so it's kind of difficult to choose who I do. But I have got 47 wrestlers on here, and we're going to be ranking them. So yeah, 47 wrestlers in TNA, who past TNA wrestlers, and current Impact wrestlers, a fair few of them. But yeah, we're going to be ranking them. We've got 47 people, like I said, so this could take a while. Might be one of my longer videos, but so yeah, this might be one of my longer videos, but let's just run through the tiers really quickly. We have the best, which is obviously for the best, all-time greats. Hey, that's pretty good. Meh, stinky, and lol TNA for the very worst of the worst. I put them into a completely random order. Let's just hurry up and do this thing. Starting off with Mr. Anderson. Now, Mr. Anderson, he's a guy who in WWE, I wanted to see him get a main event push. But when he got the main event push in TNA that we were all longing for while he was in WWE, it kind of showed he wasn't really ready for it. And when he won the TNA World Championship, I feel like he never really stepped up and gave, world title performances and main eventer performances that the likes of other main eventers in TNA at the time were giving. I'm going to put Mr. Anderson in stinky. I think he's one of the worst world champions in TNA, so I'm going to put him in stinky. Next up, we have Damien Sandow, aka Aaron Rex, who you might notice I decided to go with the Elias photo, because Elias and Damien Sandow look exactly the same. I thought it'd be funny just to put Elias in there. But I'm going to put him in, he had a really bad run. They really ruined Aaron Rex, even worse than how he was done in WWE. I'm going to put him in LOL TNA. There are some other people I have in mind to put in LOL TNA who are also really bad, but who could potentially make Aaron Rex move up one because they're way worse than him. But we'll see. Next up, we have Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is fairly difficult to rank because she's fairly recent to the Impact roster. She's been in there for just over a year now, but I'm going to put her in hey, that's pretty good. I think she's very likely going to win the Impact Women's Championship at Hard to Kill, and she has a very long way to go before becoming an all-time great or the best. But as of right now, I'm really enjoying her, and I think she's pretty cool. Next, we have Suicide, or Manic, whatever you want to call him. You call him either way, because that's what his name was changed to. He was a character played by many different people, TJP being one of them. I believe he was a 2-time X Division champion. Never really did anything beyond that other than being in the video game. I really liked the fact he was in TNA. I think he has a really cool look. But again, he didn't really do much. I'll put him in meh, because it's kind of down the middle, He didn't really do much, but he's cool and did win the X Division title and was the main character in a video game, which in itself, that's pretty cool. But anyway, next up we have Scott Steiner, and I think I might put him in all-time greats just because of the maths promo. I mean, we'll put him in all-time greats for now. We can move them around, but right now we've got loads of people. We've got a person in everyone except for the best, which moves us on to Sting. Now, here is where I present my unpopular opinion. I liked Sting in TNA. I really liked Sting in TNA. But looking at the rest of this list, do I think he was the best? Because there are people in this list who I know I'm going to put in the best. I don't know if I want to put Sting there. And I'm really sorry, it's an unpopular opinion. But I'm going to put him in all-time greats. I'm going to put him in above Scott Steiner. He'll be at the top of all-time greats. I think he's very, very good. I think he's really, really good. He was good in TNA, but, there was that phase where he was wrestling in his t-shirt and just squashing people. That was one of my least favorite phases in TNA, and so I'm going to put him in all-time greats, and not the best. However, Kurt Angle, I will put in the best. I thought Kurt Angle was great in TNA. He did very well in TNA. Maybe even surpassed how he did in WWE. Might make a video on that soon. Was Kurt Angle better in TNA or WWE? But yeah, he was really good. Jeff Hardy, another unpopular opinion. I'm going to put him in all-time greats as well. I think Jeff Hardy, he had a very good run. You know, the Broken Run, I think, was good. And in 2010, when he returned, initially it was good. But then his world title reigns and his heel turn were quite underwhelming. And as well as that, of course, the Victory Road thing. Yada, yada, yada. He's going to go all-time greats. But Samoa Joe, I'm going to put in the best as well. Samoa Joe, he's synonymous with TNA. He was one of TNA's like homegrown stars. You know, he was very big in TNA and Ring of Honor particularly before going to NXT. And I think he definitely did do better in TNA than he has done in WWE. Former world champion in TNA, should be a world champion in WWE. But it is what it is. Bobby Roode, okay. That's a difficult one, actually. Do I want to put him in the best or all-time greats? It's one of the top two. I think... Yeah, he's a former world champion, former tag champion with James Storm. I'm going to put him in all-time greats at number 2. Above Jeff Hardy, but behind Sting is where I think I'll put him. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do that, I think. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's kind of hard to choose between. I think Bobby Roode's very good, but I don't think he's up there with Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe in how he did in TNA. Next up, we have Abyss, who is a guy who, you know, very synonymous with TNA. One of the few TNA guys who never went to WWE and stuck with TNA. Obviously, he's in WWE now, but he's a road agent, not a wrestler. I'm going to put him in all-time greats. He was never a world champion. I'm going to put him behind Scott Steiner, I think. Or should I'll put him above Scott Steiner and behind Jeff Hardy. He was only ever an NWA world champion, not ever a TNA world champion. But he did win the TV title, the tag title, and again, he's in the Hall of Fame in Impact. And again, he's just a name that's synonymous with TNA. Next up, we do have Austin Aries, and this is another one where it's either the best or all-time greats, you know. I think I'm going to put him at all-time greats at number 2. Number 2, yeah, I'll put him at number 2 all-time greats. Again, he was very successful. Big X Division guy. I'll put him in... No, I don't know where to put him. Do I put him the best or all-time greats? Oh, man. I'll leave him on all-time greats for now. I don't know what to do with him. Oh, no, I'll put him in the best. He is the best. He is in the best, I think. Very synonymous there. I have to put the controversies aside. That was the thing that was in my head. I have to put those aside and just give credit where it's due. He was one of the best. I think better than Sting. Again, the only reason Sting is in all-time great was because of that phase where he wrestled in his shirt. That's the only reason he's there and not the best. But Austin Aries, I'll put in the best, happily. James Storm, I'm going to put in all-time greats. Again, like Abyss, never went to WWE. He went to NXT for like 2 matches, then went straight back to TNA. Former world champion in TNA. And with Beer Money, him and Bobby Roode were a very good tag team. Former world tag champions, I can't speak. And yeah, we're going to put him in all-time greats. Next up, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's a guy... Obviously, he's the owner of the company, or the founder of the company, even. So, I mean, I can't base it on that. I can't put that into consideration. I can't use that as criteria. Okay, I'm gonna put him in meh. Honestly, he's a former world champion there, but a lot of his world title reigns never really entertained me all that much, and it never really sat right with me seeing him defeat the likes of AJ Styles and stuff like that. I'm going to put him in meh, so sorry, Jeff Jarrett. Chris Sabin, big X Division guy, very successful in the X Division. I think he, again, very good. He's a former world champion, but one of the worst world champions. I'm going to put him in, hey, that's pretty good, ahead of Jordan Grace. Very good tag team. Him and Alex Shelley is the Motor City Machine Guns, who I think I'll just throw in with there. I'll throw him in there as well. because he's also a former X Division champion and tag champion with Chris Sabin, and they were very good. Christopher Daniels. Big Christopher Daniels. I think Christopher Daniels was very good in TNA. I'm going to put him in the all-time greats ahead of Abyss. Former X Division champion. Again, very big in the X Division. Former tag champion, I believe. And yeah, Christopher Daniels as well. Now he's amazing in AEW. And he's always been great. He's a veteran of the business. And TNA's... And again, he's another guy, actually. Didn't go to WWE. One of the few guys there. Anyways, Bully Ray. Bully Ray, I think I'm going to put in the best. I'm going to put him behind Joe Aries. I think this order right now is the right order for it. But I'm going to put Bully Ray there. I think, obviously, he's a tag wrestler with Devon. Of course he was good. It's him and Devon. By the way, did I put Devon on this list? Am I blind? I don't think I put Devon in this. Unless I'm blind. Wait. Oh no, Devon's there. Never mind. I couldn't recognize him because he's in the suit. But yeah, Bully Ray, he's going to be in here because of the fact that his heel run as world champion was very good. He reinvented himself as a single star and became Bully Ray when, you know, him and Devon stopped teaming up. I thought it was very good. Even though Aces and Eights wasn't amazing, I'm going to put Bully Ray in the best. Anyway, Rob Van Dam. Stinky, poopy. Yeah, he just was never really asked in TNA. He seemed very lazy. Seemed like he didn't really care all that much while he was like world champion and stuff. I'll always love RVD, and in fact, I'm really enjoying what he's doing in Impact now. But I think I'm going to put him in Stinky based on his first TNA run. Booker T. I'm going to put Booker T in meh. He only ever won the Legends Championship and the Tag Championship. So not really too many career accolades to say. So yeah, I'm going to put him there, but I'm going to put him ahead of Suicide, and I'll put Jeff Jarrett ahead of Suicide as well. I'll order it like that. Yeah, I think that's about right. Eric Young now, this is a difficult one. He's either the top of Hey That's Pretty Good or in all-time greats. I'll put him in all-time greats ahead of James Storm. Obviously, he's a former world champion. I wasn't a fan of his world championship run because they only did it because Daniel Bryan won it in WWE the week before. But other than the world title run, he has had major success in TNA with the X Division, the tag titles. Let's not talk about the Knockouts tag titles. But yeah, we're going to put Eric Young in all-time greats. Next up, Bobby Lashley. I would put him in all-time greats as well, I think. There was a point in TNA where he literally held every title. I'm going to put him behind Jeff Hardy, I think. He was a very good heel. I really enjoyed him when he was aligned with like MVP and whatnot, and Kenny King. That whole stable. And he's a former world champion, former X Division champion. Again, he held like every title at one point, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, Hulk Hogan is next. LOL TNA, I don't really need to explain it. He ruined TNA. He's one of the reasons why TNA died, pretty much. So that's where he's going to go. Yeah. On to next, Jay Lethal. Ooh, it's either the top of meh or hey, that's pretty good. Black Machismo was a cool gimmick, and him and Consequences Creed were pretty cool. I'm going to put him in hey, that's pretty good, behind Shelly and Sabin, but ahead of Jordan Grace. Yeah. EC3, gotta be the best, I think, ahead of Austin Aries even. EC3, he was released from the WWE where he was Derek Bateman, went to TNA. I did not expect anything from him, and he reinvented himself as EC3, as Ethan Carter III, and no doubt I've got to put him in the best. He's a former world champion there. I believe he was a grand champion as well, and overall just a great talent in TNA, in the mic, in the ring, and just every aspect he was great at. Matt Hardy. See, this one's actually tough, you know. I put his brother in all-time greats. Now, Matt, he made shockwaves in wrestling with a broken gimmick, but his original run wasn't amazing, and it lasted like 8 months. Never won the world title. But he was world champion as Matt Hardy in his second run and tag champion. I'm going to put him in all-time greats. No one created quite a buzz like Matt Hardy did around that time period where he was broken. Jesus, I burped. Where do I put him, though, in the rankings? I'd put him behind EC3, I think, but ahead of Aries and Bully Ray. Yeah, that's what I do. Next up, Gail Kim, who I'm also going to put in the best. I think she's their best female wrestler of all time. I'm going to put her behind... I'll put her above Matt Hardy, I think, because in terms of female wrestlers, she was the best in TNA history. No doubt about it, Cole. I should have put Taz on this. Why didn't I put Taz? That would have been a really good idea. AJ Styles, no explanation needed. The very best. He's in the best at the number 1 spot. In my opinion, best TNA wrestler of all time. Like, I have no doubt about that in my mind. I really think that he is. And yeah, okay. I don't really need to say more about AJ Styles. He's just phenomenal. No pun intended. I actually didn't mean to say that. Jesus. Christian Cage. I think he was very good in TNA, but he wasn't around for long enough to put him in the best. So I want to put him at the top of all-time greats. I think I'm going to be triggering a lot of people by putting Sting in all-time greats. I just personally didn't enjoy him all that much. I need to stop going back to Sting. Christian Cage, obviously very good in TNA. Many people say he was treated better in TNA than he was in WWE, but I'm going to put him on all-time greats at the very top of all-time greats, just because I don't think he was in TNA long enough to put him at the top. You get me? Ric Flair, I'm going to put in Stinky. He should have just stayed retired, honestly. I don't know why he didn't stay retired. It's beyond me why he didn't. He ruined it by going to TNA. It was such a great moment when he got retired by Shawn Michaels. But no, I'm going to go to TNA and wrestle people and bleed very heavily in matches. Matt Morgan's the next one. He's going to be low TNA behind Aaron Rex, but above Hulk Hogan, because Hogan's by far the worst. But Matt Morgan was their failed main eventer. Never really did anything. He was meant to be their world champion, meant to be their big guy, but he wasn't good. He wasn't compelling, and he had many stop and start pushes, and he just never really worked out that well. Anyway, next up we have Kazarian, who's going to be an all-time great as well. I think I'd put him behind James Storm. No, I'd put him above James Storm. He was great in the X Division. Always enjoyed him in the X Division. In fact, he had long hair in TNA, which is always weird for me to look at. But that's completely off topic. Awesome Kong, all-time greats as well. Again, she's synonymous with TNA. That's where she made her name. One of the best female wrestlers in TNA, and I'm going to put her in all-time greats. Ron Killings. He was mainly in... Obviously, R-Truth is Ron Killings. He was mainly in TNA during the NWA days, during the Asylum era. I'm going to put him at... he's a former NWA World Champion. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in the top of Hey, That's Pretty Good. But he wasn't really there long enough, or in the TNA heyday, for me to put him in all-time greats or the best. Okay, who's this? Oh, that's Pete Williams. I'm going to put him in Hey, That's Pretty Good. Ahead of Chris Sabin, I think. The inventor of the Canadian Destroyer, popular in the X Division. I'm going to put Pete Williams in Hey, That's Pretty Good. A nice iDubbbz reference for you all. Yeah. Devon Dudley next. Listen, man. He held that TV title captive. I'm going to put him in meh. Alright? I'm going to put him second or first in meh. Because he was good in the tag division with Bully. But, I don't know, man. It never sat right with me when he held that TV title and just kept it captive for like nearly a year. So I'll have to put him there. I'm sorry. Madison Rayne is next. I'm going to put her in second in Hey, That's Pretty Good. Because I think she's a very good female wrestler. She's still in Impact now, doing very well for herself. And I preferred her over Angelina Love, so who I'm going to put at the top of meh. if it will let me. Yeah, Angelina Love is going to be the top of meh. I liked them both, but I think Madison Rayne, I just personally preferred her over Angelina Love. Next up, we have Chris Harris, who I'm going to put at the top of Stinky. Man, you guys need to watch the video of when he returned to TNA as Matt Hardy's mystery tag partner. Everyone thought it was going to be Jeff. The whole storyline was they thought it was going to be Jeff. He brought out Chris Harris. There was no reaction. It's one of the most awkward things I've ever seen, man. You guys need to watch it, honestly. Magnus. Oh, boy. I'm going to put Magnus in LOL TNA. But I'll put him at the top because he was a world champion. Not a good world champion. And I think I'll put him at the top based on how he's doing now. Obviously, Magnus, he's now Nick Aldis, and he's very good. But in TNA, could not get behind him. He was very popular backstage, especially with Dixie Carter, which is why he was pushed. But I can't get behind him now. Anyway, Shark Boy, I'm going to put at the bottom of meh, because he never won any titles there, to my knowledge, but he was a fun character, and I enjoyed him personally, so I'm going to put him in meh. Then next up, I think all these are Impact people, so my random order didn't work that well. Taya Valkyrie, I think she's been very good as a Knockouts champion. I don't know whether to call her an all-time great yet. I might put her at the top of Hey, That's Pretty Good. I think that's what I'll do, if it'll let me, yep. Because she's really good, but she's not an all-time great, because she hasn't been there long enough. I mean, no, I have to. She's the longest reigning Knockouts champion in history. That's an accolade and a half. I have to put her an all-time great for that reason. Put her ahead of Awesome Kong, but behind James Storm. I have to put her in there. She's very good. Tessa Blanchard, you know what? I don't even care. I'm putting Tessa in the best. I well and truly think Tessa is one of the best in Impact. I think she's the best in Impact today, and of all time, I think she's up there. I mean, she had that great match with Gail Kim, which served as like a passing of the torch, where she won. And now she's wrestling intergender and could be the first Impact World Champion. And the fact that she's even in contention for it is enough to put her in the best. Like, that's huge. I am going to put her in the bottom because she hasn't been there long enough. But I think she's made shockwaves. She's making waves, doing things that have never been seen in TNA or Impact or wrestling entirely. So I'll put her in the best for that reason. And I'm a huge Tessa Blanchard mark. Sami Callahan, current world champion. I put him at the top of Hey, That's Pretty Good. He only just won the world title. He has been around in TNA for a couple years. I mean, Impact, not TNA. He's been around in Impact for a couple years, but I am going to put him in Hey, That's Pretty Good at the top. He will be an all-time great, but just give it a little longer. Then Brian Cage, I would put him behind Madison Rayne, I think, in Hey, That's Pretty Good, because he's getting there himself. Former world champion, and he's an X Division champion, I believe, too. But again, let him be there longer, and I'm sure his stock will rise. LAX, I'm gonna put them at the top of Hey, That's Pretty Good. Yeah, they had a really good run the past year and a half, or past 2 years. Ortiz and Santana, obviously, now known as Proud and Powerful. They won the Impact Tag titles a couple times. Had a great feud with the Lucha Bros. And overall, they were just fun to watch, you know, the fun to watch Maggle. But yeah, I think that's it. That's literally every single person. I don't think I need to change anyone. But just to run through, we've got the best: AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, EC3, Gail Kim, Matt Hardy, Austin Aries, Bully Ray, and Tessa Blanchard. In all-time greats, we have Christian, Sting, Bobby Roode, Jeff Hardy, Bobby Lashley, Christopher Daniels, Abyss, Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian, James Storm, Taya Valkyrie, Awesome Kong, and Scott Steiner. In Hey, That's Pretty Good, we have LAX, Sami Callahan, Ron Killings, Madison Rayne, Brian Cage, Petey Williams, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Jay Lethal, and Jordan Grace. In Meh, we have Angelina Love, Devon Dudley, Booker T, Jeff Jarrett, Suicide, and Shark Boy. In Stinky, we have Chris Harris, Mr. Anderson, Rob Van Dam, and Ric Flair. And in LOL TNA, we have Magnus, Aaron Rex, Matt Morgan, and Hulk Hogan. I'm going to leave a link in the description to this tier list. You can make one yourself. Do it at home. Tell me how you would change this, if I'm wrong, if I'm right. We're all entitled to our opinions. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed. I don't actually know how long this video is. Let me just check that. Oh, it's 26 minutes. That's not too bad. I was hoping it would be under half an hour, and it is. So that's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. I probably rambled a fair bit and probably waffled a bit. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, smack the like button. See you all soon. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.